Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the We Got Balls podcast. My name is Steve Trudeau. Today, joined by my two co-hosts, Emmanuel Pacheco, Mikey Almeida. Fellas, how we doing?
Why now?
You're such an asshole. I'm so mad. You know,
I went off right on you. Okay, hold on.
All right, so a little behind the scenes for those listening to the podcast. As the countdown was on the screen, we were waiting to start the show. I texted everybody, please mute your phones. And Emmanuel is such a jackass that he purposely set off his phone as soon as we started the show just to piss me off. And I know he does this stuff because he just loves to get me mad.
Yes.
That's what he's trying to do, man. He knows because you have a child, you're on your last boiling point, and that's what he's gonna do to you.
Yeah,
Steve.
I didn't need a third child to deal with today, but apparently Emmanuel decided to be a child today. Thank
not
you,
only,
Emmanuel.
Not only that,
FCSD. I'm your FCSD, friendly Canadian shit disturber.
He also ruined. I wanted to do, you know, The Office when they're doing that virtual party. He's like, "How you doing, Michael Scott?" And Michael Scott's like, "Fuck you, you little." He's like, "What a guy! What a funny guy."
Well, that's a great way to start the show. How are we doing though? Outside of that, everyone doing well?
I'm doing awesome. I just got back from the cottage, so I'm actually very mellow right now.
It's Labor Day, and I'm hanging out with you two knuckleheads.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Happy Labor Day, everybody. What is the cottage?
Well, it's an Airbnb that we rent out, but it is a cottage. It had it had Wi-Fi, but it had no cell phone in the whole bay. It had none, right? So it's called Cape Chin, and basically this lake that we go to, and it's beautiful, crystal clear water. You can see through it and just do absolutely nothing. And internet was really slow, so you could do a little bit, but not really a lot. So it was quite good.
Yeah, I was asking Emmanuel before the show, Mikey, if there's anything like even up there, because I feel like if you go 20 minutes outside of Toronto, it's just nothing, just animals and trees.
No, but there's things. There's it's like peaceful. It's beautiful. See, what you think is nothing is because you think, oh, there's no city there. There's no human being. There's no Dunkin' Donuts at the corner.
Did you bring your pizza maker?
You know what? I didn't bring the pizza maker. It's in the backyard. We did not bring the pizza maker because the deal was I paid for the cottage and the kids had to take care of the food. So, and I have a story about that. Yeah, I think it's fair, but I got a story about that. Okay, go ahead.
Wait, so you didn't bring your pizza maker. So like I said before, then were they regretting it? Were you regretting it? Did you take a little bit of time? Like, I miss my pizza blogging or whatever the hell you do.
Yeah. Well, listen, I have over 2,000 people following.
Oh my goodness.
Google.
How many Google bucks did you put in there to have 2,000?
Quite a few. But I bought some ads.
Wait a minute. Is there an Instagram?
Well, it's an internal one to the company. What the hell?
All right.
Okay.
You guys are getting us way off track today. No, I was going to ask because Mikey, I know you're big into investing in property and stuff like that. And Emmanuel just says he does like to go vacation up there. Yeah. I was asking him if he would ever consider buying like a vacation home, like in the middle of nowhere in Canada, just to like hang out and relax. I got two no's.
That's a terrible investment idea.
Absolutely. Worst investment ever. Rent it when you need it. And then you can rent other places that are actually pretty nice and you can try out new things. It's like if you went on your vacation every single year to the exact same place. You would.
I don't know, man. I'd love to have like a little vacation home in the middle of the mountains, just peaceful, relaxing.
It's called your house. It's called your backyard. It's like go and build like an oasis in your backyard. That's what you do.
No, I don't agree with that one. I think you should if you want something, but if you're using it as an investment property, it's a whole different. You're going to need people to be in there to pay it and do all that stuff. If you want a place where you're just going to just chill and kind of make it a legacy property, then that's a good idea.
And also, you said you rented from Airbnb.
Yeah,
those sites are getting super expensive. Like I kind of shy away from Airbnb now because like the rental fees will be cheap, but then like they hit you with like a deposit, cleaning fee. They hit you with everything.
No, but it's not that bad. So first off, you have places that you can't rent a hotel at. First off, so where I went, there's no hotels. There's even barely motels. So you're renting places that people, and the couple that the family that we rented off of, this is the second time that we've rented from them. And it's a beautiful place. And the lady that owns it is in China, and she basically can't get back here. So she basically is renting it out. So it's opened up again this year, and it's a beautiful place. It's a gorgeous mansion. It's a cottage on the lake and has all the amenities. It's great. And we rented it.
Way to flex on us.
No, because I'm confused.
Yeah.
A cottage and a mansion are two different things.
No. In Canada, you have cottages that are mansions. So this is a upscale house in the middle of nowhere.
What is a mansion to you? Like, what's the
Yeah,
definition
like
of a
what is a
mansion?
mansion?
Okay, this thing has multiple level. It's more than a house. Multiple levels. It has a sauna inside the house. It's got a games room. You've got vaulted ceilings, open thing. You've got multiple decks to get to the water, and it's completely secluded. So to me, it's a mansion in the sense of it's a pretty big property in the middle of nowhere. That's what it is.
With no Wi-Fi.
No, it had Wi-Fi, but no cell service. Period. Like zero cell, because it's in a bay that has no cell service, and the Wi-Fi is super slow. So you can only get like email. Like I wouldn't be able to do the podcast there. I actually came back early so that I could do this podcast, because otherwise I'd still be there.
Okay, he's full of shit. Number one, let me tell you why. He's got to go into the office tomorrow. He's got to go to work tomorrow. So does Raymond.
What work do I?
What?
Where do I have to go to work?
You got to go to Google. Isn't September? Isn't September your last? This is your last hurrah. You have to start going into the office, right?
No.
When do you go back?
January now for us.
AK, he's not working at Google anymore. He got left go. Either that or he's been lying to us. The podcast is making a ton of money, and he's like, I don't need Google anymore.
I got Mikey and Trudeau.
I got podcast money.
So I think I want to start somewhere today with the show, and I want to ask you guys a question. And I was pondering this the other day when I was walking my dog.
So wait. So just before you ask that question, so you think about me and Emmanuel on your free time?
All the time, not just my free time.
Oh wow, we're very honored. We're very honored.
Very nice.
So I was walking my dog down the road, and I was very tired. I have a newborn baby, and she is taking away all my sleep. So I'm walking down the road. It's late at night. And I'm like dozing off. My eyes are kind of like, nodding. I'm nodding off. And it got me thinking, blind people, when they have their service dog and their service dog takes a shit, who picks that shit up? Does it just stay on the ground? Do they pick it up? Does the dog know not to shit in public on the ground? How does this work?
Okay. So I have so much to unpack on that one. First off, a service dog is a working dog, and it actually is trained very well. So supposedly the person has a dog that is at home most of the time, and when they go out, they go out. If the dog is going to go to the bathroom, it's usually going to relieve itself at home. But if it does go out,
what if it's just like, oh wow, I didn't see this coming, and it's out? I'm just imagining it like you're on the subway or like walking down a public street in a city, and the dog takes a dump on the ground. The blind person's not going to know where the poop is. He might not even know that the dog pooped. So what happens? Does everyone just kind of look at it and be like, whatever?
But I think he gets a pass. I think like if there was ever a time for somebody to get a pass, it'd be a pass.
And then it got me thinking, I feel like this would be an excellent premise for an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Hear me out now. So here's my premise is Larry David gets a new neighbor who happens to be blind. And the dog keeps shitting like on the walk, like right in front of Larry's house in his front yard. And Larry starts to think, this guy, I don't think he's really blind. I think he's full of shit because every day he just shits in the same spot and he knows exactly where he's shitting. He's leaving it there for me. And Larry starts getting so mad. And then he starts following the guy and doing various things to prove that he's not blind. And at the end of the episode, he finds out, because Larry David's an asshole, he finds out that the guy is blind, but then the guy tells him afterwards, I am blind, but I knew the dog was shitting. Fuck you, Larry.
I think that's a great episode. I would watch that. I should
get in touch with Larry David.
I think you should. Now,
yeah, I'm looking at the producers right now, and it just says Larry David. There you go. Write him an email.
There you go. Well, I have on a more somber or a different note. I have an opposite of that. I have an actual blind and deaf dog. So we have an older dog, and he holds his crap, and he comes home, and he can't see anything, can't hear anything, but he knows when he's at home because he kind of senses when he's at home, and he knows when to go to the bathroom. And so I'm assuming a trained dog will be able to kind of hold it in and go when they usually go at home. Like that's the way I would look at it. But anyways, I do have a blind dog that actually is very well trained, and I'm the one his seeing eye person. So complete opposite.
When I go with walks for my dog, I just get the most random thoughts. Sorry I dragged you down that rabbit hole. I can tell Mikey was very interested with that question. He really was pondering the meaning of life after that.
Yeah, I'm still not paying attention because I don't like wasting my time, Steve. I'm just kidding. No, it's a good question. And you made me think, like, why is it with Scooby-Doo they never have to clean up after him?
You've never seen Scooby-Doo take a shit.
Never.
It almost makes me think that, like, you know how they pull the mask off of the bad guy at the end of the Scooby-Doo episode? What if Scooby-Doo is actually a person in a Scooby costume and not actually a dog?
That's crazy. That could be like an adult version. That could be an adult. No, well, wait. Now I have another question for you. What is your favorite dog character?
I feel like the classic answer would be Lassie. But that's no fun. You know what I'm gonna say? I don't remember the dogs' names, but there was a movie I used to watch when I was a little kid, Homeward Bound. Do you remember that movie? It was 2 dogs and a cat. They were trying to get home. So I'm gonna say one of the dogs from that.
No, Stewie from Family Guy. That's the dog I'm gonna like.
Stewie is not a dog. It's Brian.
No, not Brian. Not Stewie. Yeah, of course.
You make a good case for yourself.
You really love that dog.
Yeah, big Family Guy fan.
Stewie. Brian, I mean, but he's actually a good dog. I like him.
Who's the dog movie with the beagle? Was it Shiloh? Was that the dog's name? Another good nomination. You Google that afterwards. And then finally, I feel like maybe the best, most well-known dog in all of television is Air Bud.
Air Bud's legit.
I heard there was a lot of on set. There was a lot of animal cruelty for that dog.
Oh God!
I heard
it was the 90s.
Yeah, but I heard, and wasn't there like a big kerfuffle on the last dog movie? I think that I've seen with a real live dog, where they were like throwing the dog in the water and making it do, and it was like literally drowning the dog. Like it was like with I'll find out who it is, but it was like it had so many problems, and there's a huge backlash on animal cruelty. Now that's why they have all CGI pets now, CGI animals in all these movies.
I mean, if you go back to Air Bud though, I mean he was the ultimate athlete, right? There's an Air Bud for basketball, football. I believe there's a soccer one, right?
Soccer.
But go ahead.
No. What were you gonna say?
No. I'm gonna go off on a tangent, but go ahead.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
Let's hear it. What? Go ahead. I want to hear a tangent.
This is why you guys are talking about dogs right now. Is like beside me because that's all we've been dealing with is dogs, right? So
because we're talking about the seeing eye dogs who picks up their shit. Yeah.
That's right.
That's how we got here.
I know, but now we have another smaller dog. So we have our older dog that's 17 years old. They're all Dachshunds, and he's 17 years old, and he's blind and deaf. And okay, that's that one dog. Then we have the other dog, and we've trained this dog way better than Bud, the dog, whatever. We've trained this dog to ring a bell whenever so they don't beg for food. We have a bell, and whenever she's hungry and she rings the bell. If the bell isn't there, she can't.
That's dangerous, though.
Food. Why? No, because we take the bell away. When we like dinner's not happening, then we take it away. But
then what's the point of having the bell if it's not going to be used to like?
Because then the dog is jumping all over you. It's like it's literally begging and it doesn't know. So this is an actual we've trained it. I could literally bring her here, have a piece of chicken, and she would actually ring the bell at this moment.
It just doesn't seem functional. It just seems just for show at that point.
No, it's completely functional because the dog is calm. The dog is actually there and it rings the bell. It knows it's going to get food and it's at that time and that's it. Because otherwise, whenever we are around, the dog is like jumping all over us trying to get food or do things. So they know exactly when.
I have a story about a bell, but I'll let Mikey get in really quick.
No, I was thinking if we were all dogs and cartoon dogs. I feel like Emmanuel would be like Droopy. Do you guys or Mr. Peabody? You look like Mr. Peabody, but you act like Droopy. He just literally talks slow and he just lets the bad guys trap themselves. And then Trudeau would be McGruff, the crime dog.
Crime fighting dog. I like that. Thank you.
Totally. Oh, I thought that
I
was a
got Mikey.
Canadian.
I got Mikey.
Okay. Who would
Mikey
he
would be
be?
the dog from the Peanuts cartoon with Snoopy.
Yeah, I'd say Snoopy or Odie from what's that cat? The lazy one, Garfield.
Yes. But
I think that's a good one.
I want to tell you about my story at the bell. So we trained our dog Emmanuel we put bells on the door, so when he has to go out, he'll hit the bells with his nose, and will indicate that he has to go to the bathroom. So instead of him barking at us, he just hits the bells or whatever.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great idea in theory, and it worked perfectly. He was trained and knew how to do that, but he doesn't understand the distinction between hitting the bell to go to the bathroom and hitting the bell because you want to just go outside and hang out. So like he loves the outdoor and the sun, so he'll just go to the bell and just hit it all day. And we had to take them away because he was too flippant with them. So it can go either ways.
It's got to be a time thing. So if dog eats, then you got half an hour or an hour after that they should be going to the washroom, right? So you put the bell out at that time. You don't leave the bell the entire time. That's the whole point of bell training. But anyways.
Emmanuel, what's a washroom? Is that where you get your clothes done?
Oh, yeah, that's a Canadian thing, the washroom. That's a washroom, bathroom.
I don't think it's a Canadian thing.
What do you guys call it? The loo?
The bathroom.
No.
Oh, you're calling it a bathroom. I was thinking of a washroom, like a room that has your washer and dryer and stuff.
No, he's talking about the bathroom.
Oh.
Yeah. So that could have gone really wrong where you say I take shits in the laundry room. I'm never inviting you over for a cottage trip.
No, absolutely not.
I'm still confused how a cottage is a mansion. There's no chance.
Yeah, I looked up the definition of a mansion and it said a very large, expensive house.
Yeah, it's like a Vanderbilt house.
These are $2 million to $4 million homes. Like these are not cheap homes.
But I feel like a mansion has to have a certain look to it and a certain appeal to it. I want it to be I don't want marble. I want like one of those wraparound driveways where you can have a chauffeur.
That's a mansion.
It has to have a pool, an in-ground pool.
There's literally 1-bedroom houses on Martha's Vineyard right now that go for $1 million. Like, what are we talking about here, Emmanuel?
Yeah, but no, cottage country in Canada is completely different. Like this is
like Obama has a mansion on the vineyard.
Yeah, okay, but that's a mansion. It's a big house, right? Right.
But you can't say that a cottage is a mansion at the same time. Like a cottage, I think is something that's small.
No.
Listen, here's the thing, Emmanuel. If a cottage gets to a certain size in luxuriousness, it becomes a mansion.
Yeah,
you can't be a cottage and a mansion. Like you graduate to becoming a mansion once you get to certain size.
There's our semantics then, because cottage to me is out in the wilderness, location wise, it's away from amenities, and you have a septic tank. To me, that's a cottage. Now, you can have a mansion that is in the middle of nowhere that has a septic tank.
A cottage looks kind of like outdoorsy inside, like it's not super fancy. It has like two bedrooms, maybe 3 at the most. It's probably usually only 1 story too. It's not multiple stories, and it can have a septic tank. When I think of cottage, I think of like very outdoorsy, low, like very minimalistic, lots of wood everywhere, and it's small.
Right. This is not what I stayed at.
No, you stayed at a
large
mansion. House or a mansion.
A large house, a mansion. I stayed at a mansion.
How many bedrooms were there?
They call it cottage. We had 8 bedrooms. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bedrooms. 5 bedrooms.
I also have, that's not a mansion. That's a
house.
That's a house.
No, but it's a house, but it's a mansion. It's a bigger.
No, it's not. All right, listen,
Canadian.
Mikey. Let's just you and me. So a mansion has to have, this is my qualification for a mansion, has to have at least 6 bedrooms, at least 4 bathrooms. It has to have like very luxurious feel to it. Lots of pristine inside, nice architect, beautiful landscape a mansion has to have, maybe an in-ground pool and a wraparound driveway possibly. Like that's a mansion.
That's in a city. What happens if you're out in the wilderness?
Then it's a big house.
That's a mansion.
Okay, so right now, we went to go visit the Vanderbilt estate. Okay, that's a mansion, and that's in the woods. That was in the woods. That's an estate. That's a mansion.
This is semantics. Wait, speaking of mansions, I came across this MTV Cribs story. Can I talk about this?
Go ahead.
So I was following. Have you guys ever seen MTV Cribs when? And I'm trying to remember this joker that did it.
It's a rapper. It's a rapper who you're talking about.
Not a rapper. No, there's many, but there's a whole bunch of them. But there's a funny one where people, and there's all these episodes where people, like, it's not even their house. They rented a house, or there's another girl that basically was doing MTV Cribs, but she was in a hotel. She did the Hotel JoJo. She lived in a hotel, but and they were doing the MTV Cribs in a hotel. And here's the other one, 50 Cent. Did you know when he did his MTV Cribs thing, all of his cars were rented? None of them are his, right?
That was probably before the vitamin water thing, because I think he made out well with vitamin water.
No, didn't he buy Mike Tyson's old house in Connecticut?
I don't know. We'll just say yes. Sure.
Hey, that house was really nice. He went bankrupt making that house.
Do you guys? I know they're trying to reboot MTV Cribs, but I don't think it's going to do as well nowadays. I feel like people are less like inclined to be worshiping the rich celebrities than they were back in the early 2000s.
They're too busy. The young kids are too busy becoming celebrities through their Instagrams and stuff. They don't care about that.
It's insane now. Money is like.
Speaking of like those old shows, I was thinking a while back, and wrote this down to discuss, but we never had a chance to actually discuss it. Pimp My Ride. You guys remember that show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would take like random people's old beat up car and like soup them up, give them rims and, you know, TVs and the dashboard, stuff like that. I have two things I want to go with this. Number one, I'm just curious, what do you guys think happened to all those cars that got pimped out? Like, do you think if you go to an old, like a used car dealership nowadays, you might find like someone's random Pimp My Ride car like sitting on the lot for a couple $1,000?
They're super unsafe.
Yeah.
They're literally super unsafe. It's like, who needs airbags when you got Kool-Aid?
Oh man. And it was always the TVs in the car too.
Yeah.
I have an amazing idea. Okay. This is what you should do. You should buy a Pimp My Ride and then put it on Uber and charge more.
That's
and there you go. Another good idea is buying an old limo and becoming an Uber. You'll always get a positive review.
That's not a bad idea, actually. How much do limos cost, you think? They're probably pretty expensive.
Like 1,000 now? You can find like an old one.
You'd be surprised, man. Like some like these vans, like work vans, they go for tens of thousands, like multiple tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, because right now people are converting them into
I'm
homes.
guessing. I think Emmanuel's looking it up, but I would guess that you could buy a used limo for like $30,000. Like it's expensive.
Oh, you get less than that.
Less than that.
Really?
You can buy a Tesla for 30,000 right now if you find the right one.
You can. So I'm looking at limos right now. Well, in Canada, you can get a limo. There's a limo for sale for $8,000.
Yeah, it's not
That's
that bad.
a bad business idea. Like get a limo and like hook it up and then like do Uber rides. Well, here's the thing though. Do you really want to be doing Uber rides and limos? Because you know what type of people you're gonna get in the limo, right? It's gonna be a lot of drunk college people, and they're gonna throw up in your car and destroy it.
You should be able to review the riders.
You can.
Well, you can. You can.
Oh, there you go.
I've gotten out of everything. Not an Uber. I've always gotten pristine, like very, very good Uber ratings. But I've got one Airbnb bad rating that I've got. I got one bad rating. I can tell you the story about it.
Why?
Because my kids.
Before you talk about your bad rating, I did want to mention a time that I was in an Uber and it went south and someone threw up all over the Uber.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
you're coming back from a birthday party.
And you got in after? And you got into the Uber afterwards?
No, it was mid-ride. Like we were on a 30-minute Uber ride back to no, it wasn't an Uber. I apologize. It was a limo. So I have a friend, Jess. This was like 10, 15 years ago. No, it was about 10 years ago. And we went out for her birthday and she got a limo. And all the friends got in the limo. And on the way back from the bars, like halfway through the ride, one of the friends starts throwing up all over the limo. and we had to sit there in a smelly throw up limo for like 15 minutes, and then I had to clean it up afterwards. It's a mess. So long story short, I don't know if the Uber limo idea is a great idea because someone's definitely going to destroy it.
Oh my goodness, Trudeau, you can't live that way if you're going to make investing happen.
God, the worst business partners ever.
Literally, he thinks of the worst. Like, what happens if we bought our own beach? Oh man, jellyfish might be all over that beach. There's no like, oh wow. There's a chance that's gonna happen, and it's okay.
Listen.
Okay, go ahead. If
you're fine with cleaning up throw up from your Uber limo, then that's fine by me. By all means, get your limo. But I'm just warning you, one of the business hazards will be if you get a limo to do Uber, someone's 100% going to throw up in it.
But at the same time, you're not planning the ride beforehand, right? It's like whoever's around that you're going to pick up. So you don't have to worry about that if you pick like a good, don't do it late at night. Maybe only do afternoon rides.
You're not going to make any money doing afternoon rides.
In Boston, you'd make bank.
Yeah, Mikey's going to be driving all the old people to like Golden Corral on Sunday morning.
And I'll get so many good tips. You have no idea. You have no idea how many tips I'll be pulling in. Those old people love tipping. Not only that, how many old people do you know using Uber? Let's be honest.
Yeah, not a lot. It's not going to be a good business.
Okay.
I'm looking for those who can't see the video. I'm in the middle. I'm the voice of reason. I know. Okay. I'm the voice of reason, and I have the devil on one side.
Also, can we address something really quick?
Yeah. Why is this video that way?
Emmanuel, you look like one of those people from like the drug cartel like documentaries. That's just like, hi, I can't tell my name. Like you're all blurred out. Like no one can see you.
Yeah. You understand that your video is blurred. Yes,
you're very blurry.
Super blurred the whole time.
Really?
The guy who works at Google, he's spending all his money on Nest Camps. He's spending all his money on Nest Camps. He can't even get a good camera going.
I think
look
it's
at this. It's both me and Steve see it right now. We can't even tell your face.
No way.
You look like you're a witness.
I promise. Yeah. You look like when they did those, remember Trudeau, those, what's his name? It was Friday night. They would talk about people on the run and stuff like that.
Hey, that's my upload speed.
America's Most Wanted?
Yes, America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, it's really bad. Okay, well, I know why. It's not my camera.
Here we go.
I can see why. It's my upload speed. I have to restart my computer. But anyways,
no, it's fine. We don't need to see your face. Your voice is all I need.
Yeah. But I had something. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you. Did you want to tell us about the time you got a bad Airbnb review because of?
No, Airbnb. I thought it was, what do you call it?
What was it?
No, Airbnb. It was Airbnb.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I always had good Uber rides, and I pride myself on leaving a property in pristine condition, pretty much the same as I found it. But this was a case that was really bad. But before I go there, can I mention that? You know that Pimp My Ride, the MTV Pimp My Ride, you know how staged that whole program was?
Don't ruin it for me.
No, look at this. Some damaged pre-pimped rides were exaggerated. The other one is some car parts just wouldn't work. The other one is while cars got many external upgrades, the insides hardly had any performance.
Do you think these cars and Pimp My Ride passed inspection after they got pimped?
Probably no. Right? So the cars were repaired for about half a year, not a couple of days, as implied.
Jeez.
The surprise scenes were all staged.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Sometimes newly added car parts would be removed immediately after filming.
Wait, so they hooked up the car parts and they took it away?
Took it away.
Wow, that's so disappointing. You know what I want to mention before we move off Pimp My Ride is, you know who had a semi-pimped ride?
Who?
Someone in this chat room.
Oh, well, then it's obviously Mikey.
Mikey Almeida. You had your TV, you had a TV screen in your Isuzu Rodeo.
Oh,
I did.
Did I remember that because you picked me up? You picked me up one time.
No, I picked you up with the BMW.
Yeah, that was the BMW. Always, yeah.
I don't.
At Google. No,
what?
I didn't work at Google at that time. Were you picking me up?
No, yeah, it was.
Emmanuel not only looks like he's in witness protection, but now his mic sounds like he's in witness protection.
Yeah, I got to restart. Okay.
No,
I'll
you're
restart.
fine. You're fine. You just kind of like mumbled over Mikey, and we can hear a word you said.
Trudeau does not want to do any editing, so you're not leaving this chat.
Yeah, you're not leaving the chat.
So
you are
unprotected.
I will say
program.
for those who listen to the podcast, I do pretty much no editing. I might bleep out the F-bombs at the beginning just to make it family friendly, but we don't do any editing. So if we screw up, that's what you get. So Emmanuel, the Airbnb, what happened?
Oh, so I was in the UK and I brought my family to the UK. Well, I didn't bring my whole family. I brought I brought my wife and I brought my daughter and her dance partner. We were at Blackpool. Okay. And
Dude,
we were there.
This guy's like the guy from Home Alone. I don't remember who I brought. We brought some people. We forget.
I don't remember. So we went to Blackpool, and the first thing was my wife actually found us a place originally, and this was a different like thing that we went the year before, and we had this $50 a night, not a cottage, but a room, right? A house, right? Whatever, a house. It wasn't a house. It was a room. I literally could put my arms side to side and I could touch each wall. And we had 3 people that had to stay in there. There was 3 beds in this room. But anyways, that was the year before. So I said, no, I'm going to go do the booking now. So I get a nice place on Airbnb. It's a bit more expensive. We get it. And everything goes well. Everything's great. My daughter decides to dye her hair, right? So she has her hair dye and she dyes her hair at the hotel, at the place. And meanwhile, she didn't think anything of it to basically go and sleep on the bed without a towel and sleep on the sheets and sleep on the pillowcases and everything. Ooh. And the entire thing was completely the color of her hair.
What color did she dye it? That's an important question.
It's like orangey red, but
Oof.
Yeah,
yeah,
so very, very bad. So, but she didn't tell me, and I rented multiple rooms. So me and my wife were in one room, and then she had another room, and she didn't tell me. So when we were checking out, I get this nasty note on Airbnb saying you guys have to pay, all of this stuff, and I said, what the hell happened? And my daughter then confessed, and she says, well, I dyed my hair and I didn't use a towel when I went to bed, and I just basically, so I had to buy. I paid £350. For bed sheets, linens, brand new like bed set basically for this place. That literally this probably cost, maybe 20 pounds for these bed sheets. But I literally had to, and I still got a bad review, even though I paid it. So that was the worst experience ever.
How much did you have to pay, Emmanuel?
£350 on top of my room rental.
I don't know what that means.
Well, £350 is like $700.
Holy shit!
How mad were you?
I was so pissed off. But the only thing I was so pissed off, but they came in second place in the world at Blackpool. So I really couldn't get mad at her, but I was pissed off. I was really pissed off. And it's still there. It's still my review. And I have, instead of 5 stars, I have 4.5 stars because it brought my rating down. But everything else.
Stay at a place? Do you ever book an Airbnb that doesn't have any reviews? Because I will not. I need to have at least like 5-10 reviews.
Wow. Trudeau almost got taken during.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. I mentioned this on the podcast when I was in Italy. When I was in Italy, someone tried breaking into my hotel room in Rome like the first day.
Yeah.
Like with a crowbar.
You're kidding me, really?
You obviously don't listen to the podcast that you're in.
I didn't this podcast. Was I on the podcast that time?
Yeah, you were on.
You were on. It was
you remember
because then you brought up your England one after.
Yeah.
Then you talked about England after that one. Or no, was it France?
It's okay. You don't listen to Emmanuel.
Paris?
I'll give you a quick rundown if you'd like. So basically, we arrived.
I might go like it. Come on.
Yeah, like a goldfish.
He doesn't.
One ear and out the other.
He doesn't even like our stuff online.
Emmanuel, what's your favorite animal?
Goldfish.
Goldfish. Why?
Because Ted Lasso said it's his favorite.
Remember.
Yeah, Ted Lasso.
It has 10.
Well, if you want to hear the Rome story about how I almost died my first night in Rome, check out the podcast. I think it's Brooklyn's New Beard and the Tiger King. That's It's on that episode. So just listen to that. You'll get the rundown.
You know
I
what?
didn't want to get what
Manuel used to drink during those episode days, so
I think that's what it was.
It's all fuzzy.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get into some actual sports. We're like 35 minutes in. I did have one sports thing I was interested in today, just one. And I thought this was really interesting. So I want to talk about some World Cup stuff because they're doing the qualifiers right now. And before I get into like what's actually going on and like who's qualifying for the World Cup, I want to tell 2 stories in particular about qualifying games this weekend. So first, did you hear about what happened between Brazil and Argentina?
No, tell us, Trudeau.
Mikey really wants to know. I can tell by his tone. He's very excited.
Soccer, fun.
No, but it's not soccer. It's like a human interest story because it's interesting. So Argentina goes to Brazil to play Brazil, right? And the match starts within 5 minutes. Police officers and health ministers come onto the field and stop the play. And they say, you can't play. These 4 players from Argentina aren't allowed because they violated our quarantine rules. And they have a rule in Brazil where if you're coming from like a couple of countries, which one of them is the UK, you have to quarantine for 14 days. So they literally stopped the match within the first 3 minutes and said, you can't play. These guys have to go. And the sketchy thing is like, you know how like they love soccer in Brazil, Mikey?
Yeah.
So much. Well, Brazil and Argentina are like the 2 best teams in that bracket. And they definitely knew those guys were coming in from the UK already. And they told them before the match, apparently they told them before the match, oh, these 4 players can't play. And they happened before they're better players because they were in the Premier League. So they had to come from England. And they tried to pretty much just kick them off the pitch before the match because they didn't want them to play because they wanted an advantage. And then they still played anyways. And they stopped the match and brought police officers to escort them off the field. The game got postponed. They didn't play the game. And it's just a complete shit show. Obviously, like the star players are pissed off. Argentina players are pissed off. I've never seen anything like that.
They should just have the game at a neutral site next time. That could just fix everything. Not only that, before players go onto the pitch, they get checked in, like all of their paperwork, everything before they even get out there. So if they really wanted those guys not to play, they could have just been like, no, you guys aren't going out there. Like, it's that simple. And their security when they line up with the players, plus all the other players are like they're in now. There's nothing you can do about it. You're around those players.
So a couple things that make it more complicated is Brazil was at a disadvantage because they have a lot of players also in the EPL, the English Premier League, and their clubs said, we're not allowing them to go play international because England also has a quarantine rule. So they didn't want to send players over to Brazil, then come back and then miss them for a few games in club. So Brazil was already pissed off because they were missing players. So they were trying to do like a little, I'm going to get you back and make sure your players don't play. It was just a complete mess. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. And then one last thing to put a cherry on top of that, Brazil doesn't give a shit about COVID. Their president is like super like anti-lockdown, pro-COVID. So this wasn't really like a COVID thing. It was more of a soccer thing.
He's like the Florida of.
He's the Florida, yeah. Brazil's like the Florida of the world.
Yeah.
Well,
Ron DeSantos.
We're the Florida of the world in America, but they're like the Texas. And if we're Florida, they're Texas.
We're a mess.
I know. America. And then the other story, this is even better. So the whole police coming on the field to stop a match, that's pretty crazy. There's an even crazier story about World Cup qualifiers this weekend. Guinea versus Morocco. The game had to be postponed because there was a coup d'etat in the country of Guinea.
In Guinea, yeah, the president, he got arrested, right? They
had
by military arrest, right?
Yes, they had to stop the match between Morocco and Guinea and put Morocco like on lockdown because the government was getting overthrown at the time.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The World Cup qualifier is going really well, apparently. But
where's the World Cup this year, Trudeau?
In 2022, it's in Qatar or Qatar. I don't know how you pronounce it.
104 degrees on a cool day.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like sketchy shit with that World Cup and how they got the rights to that World Cup.
I'm really proud of Emmanuel for not playing any like thing during any of that. No, any of those comments like wow.
I know. I haven't played any. I've got them all queued up. I have them all queued up.
But
none of them are like appropriate. None of them are appropriate. So
Did you see that Canada played the United States in the World Cup qualifier yesterday?
didn't they tie?
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. Isn't that like a win anyways if they tie?
It's a win for Canada. I mean, USA
Yeah.
was playing at home. They were in
Yeah.
Nashville and they lost to Canada.
Ties are like, but is like ties soccer? It's like in the Ted Lasso thing. What do you mean? There's ties? Oh yeah, you guys do those things here.
Yeah,
I like that.
To be fair, though, like I'm looking at, there's only been 2 matches for everyone so far in the North America, Central America qualifiers, and almost everyone just has 2 ties. The only team with wins are Mexico and Panama.
Oh.
Watch USA miss the World Cup again in Canada or someone else. We tied El Salvador the other day, which what the funny thing was? I was watching El Salvador USA. And Mikey, you might know this watching or being aware of how they do soccer in some of these South American countries. But they had to have people when they did corners. They had security with riot shields surrounding USA guys taking corner kicks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot of people are crazy passionate. Plus, it's in other countries, they bet crazy amounts on these games. These guys, there's not much to that's their enjoyment. Remember, they don't have basketball, they don't have American football, they don't have hockey. These guys have soccer. That's their thing, and it's cuckoo. And it's so bad. Some of the things that come out of the stands are just, soccer, man. There's a passion, and there's just stupidity. There's a lot of stupidity around the game, including in this country.
But is it in regions that it's worse than others? Because in Canada, I've been to a soccer game and there's nothing crazy. I think somebody spilled a beer on another guy and they apologized. Both of them.
Can I tell you, when this is a common occurrence when the United States goes and plays in Mexico, Mexican fans will fill beer cups with piss and throw it at U.S. players.
Really?
Yeah.
That's just gross. That's gross.
Yeah, they're it's the sport is crazy. It's just like baseball in the Dominican and Puerto Rico. It's man, you better not get into a fight or something, because that's going to be a brawl every single time out. Soccer is just, it's crazy, man. It's a popular sport. Everybody loves it. It's the gateway sport. A lot of people are intrigued.
Does Canada have a chance at this year? The World Cup?
Possibly. So I was looking at how Canada qualified. So just to give the audience and you guys a little rundown of how the qualifiers work. So if you're ranked a certain, world ranking in your region, you get automatic qualifier to the final round. So USA got an automatic qualifier. Mexico did. Canada actually had to earn their way to the final round. And Canada won a bunch of qualifiers earlier in the year to make it this far. And Canada, I mean, I'm not going to say they don't have a chance right now. If it ended today, which is only after two matches for everybody, Canada would be in the World Cup. But that's, I mean,
Should we celebrate? Should we start celebrating now?
No. So that's good news for you, Emmanuel. The bad news is there's still 12 more games for everybody. Everyone has to play 12 more games, so it's still going to be a while. It goes until March 2022. And just to let everyone know, so basically there's 8 teams in your qualifying region. So for us, it's the CONCACAF, which is North America, Central America. The teams are Mexico, Panama, Canada, Honduras, United States, El Salvador, Costa Rica, and Jamaica. Those are the teams. The top 3 teams qualify and are in the World Cup. If you're in 4th place, you have to play the 4th place team of another region to make it into the World Cup. So we'll see. Right now, if you ended Canada's in 3rd standing, they would make it to the World Cup. But there's a long way to go. I hope the USA gets their shit together, because the tie to Canada was pretty bad. The tie to El Salvador in the first match, I understand, because it's on the road and it's crazy over there. But man, you can't tie Canada. You got to beat them.
Okay, but if they make it to the World Cup in Qatar, who has the advantage? It's 104 degrees in the shade. Which team is going to have an advantage in that type of heat?
And remember, once you get subbed off, you can't go back in, and you only have 3 subs.
Honestly, if I just said play just the advantage game on the heat, I would have to say probably Brazil because it's hot over there in Brazil.
Yeah, but those guys don't train as hard as the. I'll give it to Spain.
Yeah, it's hot in Spain.
Spain, they just play.
Not hot at all. Canada is not hot at all.
Canada would just be happy to be there. They'd just be like, "Oh, this is great."
So
true.
No,
there's still a long way to go.
you gotta get that snippet, Emmanuel, the one that with your boy Jim Carrey is like, so there is a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But if you're interested, on Wednesday, September 8th, United States plays Honduras in the next qualifier. So check it out.
Oh, nice. Can you say it again so I can write it down?
Yeah, you're definitely gonna watch that. Not.
I'm gonna circle it. I really can't wait.
Wednesday, September 8th. And to be fair, like I've heard a lot of positive things about the USA team this go around. They're supposed to be the most talented team yet. Lots of guys, a lot of their players are in like Europe playing in the EPL, Serie A, other places.
Cool.
So yeah.
Well, I'm gonna follow
on a different note in the world, Emmanuel wanted to talk about China for some reason. I didn't realize we were following.
Yeah. So here's the thing. This crazy story came out, and I thought it was a joke. I thought it was like The Onion, whatever. And it said, well, China's banning teenagers, so from 18 under, from playing video games by basically limiting to 3 hours per week, 1 hour a day, Fridays, Saturday, Sunday, and holidays. 1 hour from 8 to 9. Not even during the times and you only have an hour. Like you can only play if you're under 18. You can only play at a certain time. Now, to me, that it's actually commendable that they're trying to control the epidemic, which video games.
Way to be a fascist over here.
Yeah, but I had to show my kid that and say, see how lucky you have it that I let you play video games in my house. Because
wait, Emmanuel, you're starting that thing in my house?
Yeah.
Dictator Emmanuel.
I like how his bar is like, you should be happy. We're not communist China. So everything's better in this house.
Absolutely. I did show it to them and they were not impressed.
My first thought when you said that was like their esports are going to be terrible.
No, but it's over 18. It's still a business, right? It's still something.
Have you seen the esports players? Like they're all super young. Like you don't just start playing video games at 18 and become a really good video game player. Like you have to have been playing from the age of like 10 and playing a shit ton to be like really good.
But this law came into effect, I guess, this restrictions now. So there's still esports.
Also,
players.
How can they actually do that and like actually, stop people from playing video games in China?
Well, because they own all of the internet. They basically will sanction, and not only sanction, they'll basically take business away because all businesses are owned by the state. So if you own a video game company and you allow under 18-year-olds to play your games at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday, you're screwed. Your business gets taken away.
Listen, everybody in China, I know you can't hear us, but I'm going to give you a little help to play video games. Go out, go buy yourself a nice Game Boy Color, and you can play whatever the hell you want, man. Pokemon, you can play as long. Emmanuel has something on his blurry screen. We can't really tell.
Mike, that's a good point. Like, what about the video games that aren't online?
No, just online games. But online games on computers, phones, so it doesn't matter. Anything that's considered a game is restricted from Monday through Friday, except for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and holidays from 8 to 9 p.m. That's the only time that they're allowing the kids to play. I'm
with Mikey. Do what you did when you were a little kid. You get your Game Boy Color and you get the little light. Mikey, do you remember the little plug-in light?
Dude, I still have my Game Boy Color.
But you know what I'm talking about? There's like a little light attachment.
Yeah, I still the port. I go right next to like one of these big lights that we have in the living room, and I'll sit there during COVID when I was super bored. I was playing Pokemon. Like, why not, man? There's nothing else to do.
So that's what you do, China. Listen to me, China. I'm talking to you over there in China. You get your Game Boy Color, plug in your little worm light, go under your covers so no one can see you, at night. Shut off the light. Play your little Pokemon under the sheets. Boom. Problem solved. You just beat communism.
No. No.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Someone in the Reddit chat is just typing Chinese symbols to me, and I am afraid I offended the people's government of China.
Well,
They're coming for us.
If they want to explain why this is the law and why they've been so drastic, like, I understand it. I get it. Because when you have kids that are literally addicted from day to night and will stay up till wee hours of the evening, and that becomes their life, right? Even when they're
Okay.
Whoa,
Oh,
okay.
no. Let's
see.
Mr.
Mom,
Dramatic over here.
You're in Canada. In America, we have something called freedom. So don't come on our podcast and tell us how you understand how.
Let's stop kids from beating their goals and being determined.
Unbelievable.
That's what I heard. Right? If they want to stay up, they want to stay up and beat
Tim
King
Hortons.
Cooper. Okay, they should be able to.
Eh?
They want to save that princess.
That's
Listen.
right. Take your Timmy Hortons and get out of our freedom land.
Now,
US
are they-
is the only country that has
Mikey, call it
freedom.
USA. USA. USA.
You know, there's so many. These kids are determined. They want to beat their best goals. There's nothing wrong with that.
I will say though,
Oh.
Mayo, I'm clowning you and messing around, but to be fair with you, man, I do agree though, man. Like these kids with like the online games, man, it gets super addicting. And the worst is the games like the EA Sports games, like the Maddens and the FIFAs, where they have loot boxes and you're spending a shit ton of money in game to like, you know, upgrade or whatever. Like I'm with you. I want to go back to the day where it wasn't so much online gaming, where it was just you, your console. There's no one else, just you. You're just playing, enjoying it by yourself. You're not playing against anybody else, just having a good time.
Oh God, is he doing that?
Like a Rubik's Cube, right? You just proved my point, Mikey. See? Rubik's Cube, best game ever
Emmanuel,
invented. Yeah.
When are we doing Dungeons and Dragons?
Right after the Olympics guy comes on.
Right after the Puppy Bowl guy too.
Yeah, we got
Coming.
Daryl Morey. He's coming too.
So I have an update on the Puppy Bowl. I have an update on
here
the
we go now.
More
So the
broken promises.
producer at Discovery, so his name is Jeff. So he's willing to come on, but he wants to listen to some of the podcasts first. So I think we've kind of screwed ourselves over.
Don't tell him listen to this one. I'll tell you
I
that
know.
right now.
But so my other friend who was running the Puppy Bowl, he's willing to come on, and he's out of I think he's in Austin right now, but he's living in Austin. Oh no, he's living in Dakota. Where's Dakota? North Dakota.
There's two of them.
There's two of them. North Dakota. I don't know.
That's
But,
I like
Does
how
it-
he goes,
That's the
Mikey.
first time I've heard North Dakota or South Dakota all year.
Dakota, but he lives in the Dakotas. He lives in the
so
Dakotas. That's all.
Emmanuel, you're from Canada, so you don't really have perspective on like where the states are. Mikey, I like how he goes from, I think he lives in Austin, which is like the farthest, one of the farthest south places you can go, to the Dakotas, which is like on the border of Canada.
Yeah, he used to live in Austin, and then when I talked to him last week, he said, "Oh, I'm in the Dakotas now." So I'm living in the Dakotas. So, and I don't know north or south. I can find out.
It's fine. I'd like to
he's
visit
willing
the
to come
Dakotas
on.
one day.
But he's willing to come on. And again, he can talk about anything. Like at this point, we can pretty much bring him on to talk about any type of sport. He's a big sports buff. So
Just
I
puppies.
can bring him on.
I just want to know about
Puppy Bowl?
puppies.
Yeah, he can talk
I wanna
about
know
puppy.
bowls.
Yeah, they produced that event. So
All right, Mikey. I feel sad that I haven't got a chance to come to you. You were talking before the show about documentaries. You still want to do that or no?
No, we'll save it. I want to know about Emmanuel's special day on September 13th.
Oh, you want to
So
know about my special? So, you know that I work at Google, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
And I am very, very close. I'm going to find out tomorrow. I think I'm going to find out tomorrow or Wednesday. But I'm going to be ringing the TMX bell. So, like you have the TSX, right? The New York Stock Exchange, the New York Stock Exchange. I'm
you on
ringing the
that.
Toronto bell. I'm going to be ringing the Toronto bell on September 13th.
Oh, nice job, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
What are you gonna wear?
I don't know. I'm very worried about it because I haven't even been with my coworker, so I don't even know what I'm gonna wear. I might.
You should wear a bow tie. You should wear a bow tie out of money. Like,
oh, I should. I think that's the good. I was gonna wear this shirt. Hold on, let me bring it.
Thanks. That's gonna help the. I like that's gonna help the podcast audience so much. Let me get my shirt to show you.
Or he should get a bow tie that has the Google, like, get a bow tie made.
I was gonna make that. I was gonna wear this shirt.
What does it say?
Hold on,
we can't read it because it's too. No, your thing's blurry.
You look like you're in window protection. We can't read it.
I feel like I'm reading something. You know when you go for your driver's license.
You read it.
Do you guys ever go to the eye doctor? By the way,
assume the deal. Yeah, assume the deal. I'm gonna wear that shirt.
Do you guys, Mike? Did you ever go to the eye doctor?
Yeah, well, yeah. I haven't been to the eye doctor in a long time, but yeah, I've been there.
Isn't it the best when you're doing the eye exam and you're like you totally nail all the letters and they're like, "Yep, you nailed it," and it's such a good feeling.
You should go and do it and do it the worst thing you possibly can. Is that a stop?
Is that a big penis? I can't tell.
Everything looks like.
You better hope you don't have a smart doctor. You'll be like, yeah, I know you can't tell.
Oh. Hey, Emmanuel, can I tell you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know you're jazzed up about doing the bell ringing thing, and I'm saying this, and this isn't because of you at all. So don't take this personally. But for many years, you know, when I have watching the news in the morning, they show the person pressing the bell. And it's like ding, 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 and I always think to myself, these cunts, these pieces of shit.
Oh my god!
I hate the bell ringing people because it's just a symbol of
That's
all.
A terrible word, Trudeau.
My favorite word. I'll beep it out in the podcast.
Now
I said see you next Tuesday for those that's listening.
I have a problem with him ringing the bell, and this is the reason.
Go ahead.
Me and Steve, we're team players. You know, we're out here, we're thinking of topics, we're doing that. Not once did this guy say, "Can I wear a We Got Balls shirt?"
You know what? How much is it worth to you if I wear that? Keep me on as a host?
Well, is it a Canadian cottage or is it a Canadian mansion? I'm not sure.
I think you should ask the people at Reddit. I think you should ask our Reddit viewers the difference between a cottage and a mansion. Okay, there are mansions. Okay, that's done. Okay, I will see if I can get a We Got Balls logo on my shirt. Okay,
that means he's not doing it. You can already tell.
I don't know.
Who's gonna? Okay, what's gonna happen first? He's gonna wear the T-shirt or get the guy from the Olympics?
He's gonna reflect it so that it goes to someone else. He's gonna blame it on someone. Oh well, you know what, guys? I was wearing it, but then they told me that wasn't appropriate, so they gave me another shirt to wear.
I have rules. No, we'll see. I actually don't know what I'm gonna wear. I'm actually nervous about it. I don't even know what I'm gonna wear. But September 13th, I will be there, and I will see if I can get video or at least a photo for you guys. Because you guys don't get the Canadian Stock Exchange. You don't get the Toronto Stock Exchange.
And the only reason why I was so negative about the bell ringing people is because like early during COVID, like people are hurting, they don't have jobs, like people are hurting on money financially, and they still just on the news every day would show the people ringing the bell, like looking super happy and pumped on Wall Street. I'm just like, it's just a symbol for everything that's wrong in this world. The people that are super happy on Wall Street, like raking in millions of dollars while people starve on the street. So have fun ringing the bell and looking down on the peons.
You feel so bad. So you're making me feel so horrible.
No, but at the same time, so Trudeau, let's reverse that. Those are also the people that are, you know, employing a ton of people for jobs and stuff like that too. So there's
paying them minimum wage where they can't even afford housing. Yeah, that makes sense. You're right.
Listen,
I'm not a landlord.
What does that have to do with landlords either? Like landlords are giving people housing to live in too.
Yeah.
Emmanuel, to be fair though, like I always assume the people ringing the bell on Wall Street are like CEOs and like big wigs that are just ripping people off. I didn't realize there's like you, Emmanuel, working.
Yeah, there's me. Yeah.
But there's also people that are like making startups. There are people who started from really nothing and created companies as well. So there's also good stories for every. Trudeau goes directly for some of the bad stuff sometimes. Like there are good people out there that started businesses that are helping, you know, and like we said before, this is America. This isn't China.
your mom and pop shop with like the people who actually care about the community. Yeah, they are good people. But there are mega corporations that pay people peanuts that they can't survive on, that are doing all the work. And then the guys at the top are just raking in billions of dollars, and they're just putting rockets into space shaped like penises just to have a big dick showing.
Oh my God, he's going there.
He's also talking about, like, he's going back to the day. Oh, those Vanderbilts and those Rockefellers and those Fords. Oh man, they making a monopoly out of this system, and nobody else can eat around here.
Hey man, income inequality is a real thing.
Hey, speaking of that, there's a CNN show that was on. Did you guys see that today? It was on Labor Day, and it's about women's soccer and play fair, pay fair. Did you guys see this?
No. We should say that for another
episode. The women should be making more. The women should be
making
making more than the men. It's that simple.
Yeah,
they
but
should be making more.
That's exactly what they're saying. That's the argument. Anyways, I'm going to watch it tonight. So I'm
gonna play devil's advocate on that one.
Why, Trudeau?
Any other way you play?
No, it should be. I'm not trying to like the truth of the matter is it should be proportionate. So like if you look at baseball, for example, what they do is, or like NFL, let's just go with NFL because it's a salary cap sport. The players get a certain percent of the generated revenue. So it's a revenue share between ownership and players. So I think whatever the revenue shares between the men's soccer team, the men's players, and the men's, whoever ownership group is of the men's team, whatever the income that they make from television dollars and sponsorships, there should be X percent, and that percent should be the same thing for the women. So it should be proportionate percent of the revenue coming in for both entities. And if the women are making more money, like television dollars, they should get more. But like if they're generating way less television dollars sponsorships, it doesn't make business sense to be like they should make more. Like I'm all like, listen, I'm like the first one to be like women's rights and stuff like that. But like it should be proportionate. It should be the same number both sides.
Okay, hear me out though. So if the United States, right, the men's team don't qualify for the World Cup, oh my God, no one's going to watch now, right? Because they didn't make it. Everyone still watches because they're not a powerhouse. They're not Spain. They're not France. They're not Brazil. The women's team, if the women's team wanted to be like, nah, we're not doing this, that's not a World Cup. That's the best team in the world. They're always top of the bracket. They're always ranked in the top 5. That would be like legit, not just the United States woman dropping out. That would be like Brazil, Spain, France, and Portugal being like, "No, we're not doing this." Like they're the best. Right. I don't care about.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you that they're the best, but like when it comes to the financials and the dollars, like it has to be proportionate. Like so, if you're giving the men, let's say just say 50% of the revenue coming in, you split it between the men's players. The same thing should happen on the women's side. Should be equal. So whatever the 50% of the revenues on the women's side should be split between the U.S. soccer entity and the players. Like the percentage breakdown should be even. I think the bigger issue is that on a world stage, the women's game is not cared about as much as we care about the women's soccer stage. So the amount of money being generated by the Women's World Cup is significantly less than the amount of money generated in revenue dollars and sponsorship than the Men's World Cup. So what the real problem is instead of bitching, well, we're just bitching about the money getting to the women, there should be more money being spent to support the women's game overseas, so it's a bigger deal on the world stage.
I feel like the women overseas are getting paid more than the women in the United States. It's 100% what's happening when they steal Tobin Heath, who goes to Liverpool, and Alex Morgan, who goes to Man U. Or
we're talking about club soccer. We're talking club and international is completely different.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is this: from a world stage, the women should still be making more. I don't know, figure it out. We have plenty of money to do it. Figure it out. You can figure it out. It's not that hard. Or at least let them sign deals, because a lot of players cannot sign their own deals of like they're pigeonholed to only be Nike, right? They should be able to sign with Lululemon. They should be able to sign with Costco. I know Emmanuel likes Costco, so we'll go there. But that's what I'm saying is figure out, and then also figure out better sponsorship. There's so many, they just don't care. I'm sorry, they don't.
Yeah, but I see both points, and I see Trudeau's, and you were going down a path that I was going to actually get and start to get upset about the way you're going. But I think you turned it around with exactly that is, I think we should be spending more money on making it more visible, because I think that the women's sports in general are at a disadvantage. I think that they have a disadvantage of what is being even offered for sponsorship, what is even being offered for TV. They are really behind the eight ball when it comes to the fact that men's sports are already at the top of any type of sponsorship draw, right? Regardless, because that's what gets the most, and that's been for years and years and years. Now we're starting to see a lot of other women's sports coming to the forefront, and I think they're at a disadvantage of what's been going on for many, many years, right? Like this is something that be very interesting to see how sponsors actually will spend their money. Will sponsors actually come up to the table and say, I will spend more on this? I don't know. We'll see.
So I think the biggest thing is they're kind of like they signed a contract to CBA in 2017 that goes through 2021, so it should be coming up soon. And one of the biggest problems is when you sign that contract, while they should be getting a better revenue split, they signed a deal, and now the women's soccer entity is not going to just let them renegotiate mid-contract. So I think this is going to be a big year for the women's soccer team when the CBA does come up, they can negotiate better deals for themselves. I know, and I'm just speaking on my ass right now because I've heard this before, but I know one of their biggest sticking points in the last CBA was not so much the revenue, like the money going to their pockets, but benefits, because a lot of these women play for these U.S. club teams where they're not getting a ton of benefits.
Yeah.
So like their big sticking points were like healthcare benefits, maternity leave, things like that. So unlike the negotiations for the men's side, the men were just looking for the cash. The women negotiated a bunch of benefits. So I expect that in their next approach to the negotiating table, they're going to go less benefits and try to go more for that revenue sharing model.
I know players who literally played at the pro level and quit midway into the season because they got traded from like Boston to Atlanta, and they were like, this physically makes no sense for me to keep continuing, like financially, and being able to do it. It's cuckoo. Not only that, they better watch out like what happened with that kid who's nasty that plays for Italy but is from New Jersey. That US women players don't start doing that, where they're like, fine, I'll go play in Ireland because Ireland cares more about it. You know what I'm saying? That's a true possibility. Luckily for this country, we have unlimited resources of great players. Like, it's unreal how many players are, but it's sad. They're going to have to figure it out.
And I don't want to like come out of this looking like I'm be like, don't
you
pay
do
women,
no matter what you say.
Not my point.
You do 100%.
You do. I already put up a post, so now everyone needs to.
The overall point is that whatever revenue share the men have, the women should have the same exact revenue share percentage wise. And then the second part of that is once they have the same percentage sharing of the money, we need to work on improving the promoting of the women's game so that they're getting more revenue dollars, they're getting better TV deals, they're getting more sponsorship dollars. Because right now, if they keep being successful, granted the Olympics was not great for them, but if they keep being successful in the World Cup stage, all those US dollars, no one's watching the US men. We're going to spend all our television and advertising dollars on the women. So down the line, if they keep doing a great job and we get the revenue sharing the same as the men, then the money should flow. But to just blanket say, give them the same amount of money, you're not taking into a fact that one sport is making significantly more money than the other sports. That's just like saying, why aren't NHL players making the same as NBA players? Because one sport is vastly more popular and making way more money. So the idea is like, instead of saying pay the NHL players the same amount of money, let's make that sport more visible. Let's get that sport more generation of dollars, and that money will flow to the players.
How do you feel about the commissioners and how much they make?
Oh, it's absurd how much the commissioner in like professional sports.
Yeah.
It's absurd, man.
It's crazy, right? It'd be like Jeff Bezos, I don't know, running a company and making all the money up top and, not paying his people.
I don't agree with both ways.
That's like any business, right? Like,
oh, shut up, you. You work at Google, so you can't even talk.
Funny enough, wait, did you hear this? Our CEO made $281 million salary, or bonus, I guess, is salary. But he is the highest paid employee in the world, I guess, or in US. Oh, maybe the world. I don't know. But he's the highest paid employee. So that's not investor. That's just actual employee. But anyways, that's a whole other thing.
I forgot where you even work.
I don't. Yeah, you don't remember? I work at Google.
Honestly, after this episode of him supporting communism, I don't think he'll be very long that he's working at Google.
he's gonna
Well, I don't
be the
ring that bell.
underdog story.
If I don't ring that bell properly on the 13th, I might not be around too long.
Wait, so does Google own your pizza business, or how does that work? I know you're.
It is actually Google's. I have a pizza makers club that has over 2,000.
You hear
followers.
that, Trudeau? So if he loses the pizza business, we're all in trouble. We're gonna be in shacks by the ocean.
Oh, I got to pay my internet bill so I get better video reception.
Yeah.
You're the only person that works at a tech company, the best tech company in the world, right? That my camera's better than yours, and so is
It's not my camera; it's my internet connection because I have to restart my computer. It's been at the cottage, and it's right now. It's not. Yeah,
I'm telling you right
at the
now,
cottage
Trudeau.
or at the mansion.
Yeah,
at the mansion. It's like the same thing. It's a cottage. No. It's a mansion in the woods. There, mansion.
You said
in
you
the
had
woods.
water views with your little pond back there.
I do. My backyard. I spend a lot of time and energy in my backyard.
So we'll figure out whether you stayed at a mansion, a cottage, or a large house another time. But let's close this out today. We're getting a little late on time. Let's get to our closing thoughts segments.
Oh,
I hope you guys have thought, because I have something for you. So I will start to give you some time to think and get something together. So I'll go first. We'll close off with Mikey because he's always a positive note to the end of the show. I want to start off with something very grim.
Oh God.
Florida.
Oh,
Florida. So my sister lives in Florida, and I've been following some of like the statistics with coronavirus. And I look at it every day, and I'm like, man, how do they have 27,000 new cases, but only like 2 people died? What the hell's in the water in Florida? They are doing something great. Well, come to find out, they're not. They're just lying to everybody. So they have a little trick in Florida. Let me tell you about it. Basically, instead of reporting the deaths from COVID on a daily basis, when someone dies, they get reported. They say, we can't report the death until it's officially a death certificate and it's official by the state. And because a lot of people are dying in Florida every day now, that takes a long time. So basically, here's the play. Is you put out the one person that got filed in the paperwork that day, or the 1 or 2, 5, 10, whatever. And then 3 weeks later, you backfill the numbers and nobody notices. So they've been reporting like 3 people dying of COVID every day for the past 3 weeks. But then if you go back, it jumps to like 300. And that's the smart thing. It's very evil by Mr. Ron DeSantis over there, because he can keep telling everybody every week, we're beating COVID. No one's dying. The numbers are low. I'm doing a great job. And every day the numbers are low because they just do it 3 weeks later. So check that out. Way to be evil, COVID, or evil Florida.
that's insane. I heard that story too, and yeah, it just drives me insane. I don't watch the CNN anymore because of that craziness.
Yeah. Also, Orlando, the past couple of weeks has been under a water restriction because they need the water to create oxygen for all the people in the COVID wards. So that's cool. That's nice.
Wow.
So I'm hoping you and Mikey can bring us to a more uplifting end after that. What? I just wanted to bring some facts to the people.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I was going to bring up the floods in New Jersey.
I love it. Let's go evil. Keep going.
No, I wanted to know. Like, I had no idea that a hurricane in Louisiana in the Gulf of Mexico was going to affect New Jersey as much as it did, and I was dumbfounded by the infrastructure problems you guys have. No wonder you have to have your $3.2 trillion infrastructure plan. That just drives me that just baffles me that a city like New York, New Jersey in general, can be flooded like that so easily.
Well, that's a 2-part problem. Number one, a lot of these cities in the United States are very old and the infrastructure is super old. So there is a problem there. But number 2, like cities like New Jersey, New York, Boston, like they're not designed to deal with like heavy hurricane flooding.
They're not designed for weather. What do you mean? They're not. You guys spent $1 billion in New Jersey alone trying to fix this problem.
It's the same thing with like Texas when it snows. Like we
Huh?
are designed in the Northeast for blizzards.
Oh,
We're not prepared and architecturally designed correctly for flooding because we don't get a lot of flooding. That's just like if in Toronto, I'm sure
yeah.
you guys aren't. I'm sure
What?
you
Go
guys
ahead.
aren't prepared for tornadoes or
Yes, we are.
hurricanes.
We get tornadoes. We get tornadoes
Yeah,
all
you
the
don't
time.
get shit. You get snow in Toronto.
No, we get tornadoes here as well. We're prepared for weather
Yeah,
that
you
is
guys have
cold.
it all. Toronto.
No, but we do have like.
Okay.
Okay, we
Are
get
you-
it. You hate
is he going to
America.
do the story or not?
No, that was my. I just wanted to find
Okay,
out. I
okay.
felt so
He
bad
just,
for.
Mikey.
All right, I'm ready for mine.
He just wanted to shit on America again.
All right, well, I'm gonna save the day from any shitting on America, because what's more pure in the United States than baseball? So we're gonna end the
Many
story
things.
That one.
with a baseball
Steroids.
story of a guy who played it well, and I have a very good story that both you guys get ready to laugh a lot and to appreciate the story. Do you guys know what Wednesday is?
Hump day.
No, Wednesday is, well, that too, but Wednesday is going to be the induction Hall of Fame of the next class, which one of Emmanuel's favorite players, Derek
Oh.
Jeter, is a part of. So I got a Derek Jeter story for you guys, and you're gonna like
Okay.
it, okay?
Okay.
And this comes from comedian Ricky Smith. Okay, in 2014, he released a bunch of tweets of a time that he wanted to remind everyone of the greatness of Derek Jeter leaving the club with his girl he came with. So here it goes. Okay, I mean, what are you supposed to do when Derek Jeter pushes up on your girl you're dating at the club? He was so smooth about it, though. I didn't even know it happened until 20 minutes after they left the club. I was just sitting at the table with my drink in my hand, and this was before the days smartphones, so I had to just stand there, acting like everyone in the club didn't just see Jeter leave with my girl. I had to act like I wanted to stay and listen to the music alone. Hell, I was more mad she left because she was my ride. They could have hooked up, but at least given me a ride home. So I got my girl and ride taken. Worst part is, I couldn't even be mad at him for pulling her. Couldn't be mad at her for picking him over me. So I just was mad at myself. I didn't watch baseball for like 2 years after that. Needless to say, I never talked to that girl ever again. Once she's with Jeter, she belongs to the streets, bro. And then he goes on to go, I hate Jeter, the Yankees and the pinstripes, number 2. P.S. I had to catch the bus back to my hotel because my card got declined. Paying for the bottle service. You don't know sadness. You don't know sadness.
The captain.
Sorry about that. You don't know sadness until the cocktail waitress comes back with security. To ask you if you have an
Are you okay?
I didn't read this part. And of course,
Give the Kawhi laugh. Kawhi
Yeah.
laugh.
Kawhi. Oh.
imagine. Imagine. I love Ricky Smith. I don't even know who Ricky Smith is, but he's my favorite comedian all of a sudden. His card got declined. He had to catch a bus. You don't know. I'm done. That's that. But imagine going to a club.
No, go ahead. I was gonna end the show on that. It was the perfect decline. Excellent. Actually, I'll just cut it. I'll just cut it out, and I'll edit it. I'll edit this one part. I want to end the show on. I'm done.
Imagine going on a date and Derek Jeter steals your girl. Like, you don't even know. Like, could you guys be mad at your wives for picking Derek Jeter over you?
No,
Like,
but she would still come back home to me afterwards. But we'd have great stories. I love when he got his card got declined for getting bottle service for her. I think that what did he do when he was in the back? Like, did he yell out?
I declare bankruptcy!
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for putting up with our shenanigans today. We had a great time. We hope you did too. Thank you for listening to the show. Those watching on Reddit, we appreciate you. We appreciate your comments. Remember, rate, subscribe, review. We Got Balls podcast. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. We love y'all. We'll talk to you next week. Peace out.
Awesome.
Oh man,
Wow.
it just kept
Wow.
going. It
was
was
good.
really funny.
was
Oh,
good.
Derek Jeter.
I like my story better.
I like my story better. There we go. They're all good. That was fun.